So over the past week, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene and Fox News host, commentator, pundit Mark Levin have been at each other's throats. Levin criticized MTG for not wanting the U.S. to get involved in the Israel-Iran conflict, even though we already are. She said that it was something that went against the America First views espoused by the president. And Levin has responded by calling her stupid, and he said that she's on his radar, and then MTG likened this to comments that have been made that have caused her to express concern for her own safety. Now, as someone who has no reason to make either side look good, I like Levin for me is comedic. I laugh at a lot of the different times I hear him speak. I don't really take him seriously in terms of an actual person to listen to about these issues. He and Ben Shapiro are among these affluent right-wing voices which are calling for further escalation with against Iran. And I'm we're sick of that whole pattern of these, guys who are insulated from the consequence of their rhetoric, trying to get more involved in these different wars. But I don't believe under any circumstance that he poses a health risk to MTG or is going to do something to her by saying that she's on his radar. When he says she's on his radar or that he has his sights on her, whatever, it's really just him saying, I'm not done talking about you. I'm going to keep talking about you. Because that's what he does. He's a commentator. He's going to keep on rehashing his beef or issues with her, perpetually. That's just how that's going to go. Now, with regard to her, the problem taking her anti-war stance seriously is that we've talked about how the GOP in its modern incarnation is a cult, and unfortunately, don't be surprised if in the event that Trump, I know he's claimed that they're walking it back or whatever, but if this conflict were to have escalated, and still might escalate at some later point, Trump has another 3 years after all, you might not ever see her definitively say, this is not a position of the president I can agree with. In terms of the broader implications, this is really most important because just like with the Tucker and Ted Cruz, interview that happened about a week ago, the main thing to take away from this is that you have two prominent right-wing figures, whether it's a politician or a commentator, who are antagonistic to each other on this particular issue, which really shows the divide and schism that exists within the GOP when it comes to foreign policy. Like they're pretty united on, deport all the illegal immigrants. If you want any type of social program, you're a socialist, go back to Venezuela, all the other crap. But there's a really large segment of voters who are anti-war, who when they hear, oh, you want to escalate this conflict, right, they flash back to Vietnam and just any other, or Iraq, more recent example, and for that reason they're apoplectic to it. Whereas you have these politicians and these commentators who, like I said, are insulated from the consequence of this escalating, who are calling for it. And Levin's just another example of that. But I do like that when MTG was on with Gates, when she was on his show, or talking to him rather, at this interview with him, she mentioned that Levin was an anti-Trumper and he tried to stop him from becoming president. All of that is true. I remember that primary, and hard to believe it's been almost 9 years. Wow, has been 9 years. But yeah, Levin initially supported Cruz, and then after that was saying that he endorsed Trump, but kind of like half-heartedly, and then once Trump took over, he completely flipped his script to just making him out to be the greatest man ever. It's pretty, it was all part of the grift. But she's right about him having that previous stance. I don't think it's really like the issue with bringing up Levin having changed is that you then have to bring up how Vance has changed, right? Compare Trump to a certain German chancellor, and now he's his vice president. You have to bring up that Rubio has changed. Rubio made fun of Trump's small hands, and now he's the Secretary of State. I mean, so like there's a running theme where people criticize Trump, and then once they see how popular he either is with the base or with, in order to retain their position or advance their careers, they're going to kiss the ring. And that's what Levin did. But again, while it shows how spineless and feckless he is, it's not a good argument to use when so many of the people in that party have done the have flipped the script at one point or another. But no, this is a significant conflict because it's showing you that rift. Um, you're going to see more of these types of schisms between the different members because Trump's domestic issues are mostly Republicans are united around. But if we have any more Middle East conflicts or things having to do with, it could be North Korea, you're going to see members of his party who are supporting escalation, which are the neocons, right, Nikki Haley and the rest of them, or the people who are against it, at least say they are, like Rand Paul, Thomas Massey, and it just shows you how even when a party has like full control of Congress, they still can't like have a consistent vision.